Hello friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Sayorius, and today we're going to be taking a look at Kagurabachi chapter 12 and 13. And my goodness, is there a lot that happens. Jumping straight into the chapter, we're having a lot of things going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, and we just had the penultimate fight between Sojo and Chihiro, which if you don't know what penultimate means, it's basically that big arc before the big finale. And it always takes place in the story. So for Kagurabachi, they had the clash between the two. Chihiro doesn't necessarily lose, it's kind of just a draw. But what ends up happening is he loses Char in the process. So now Char is being held hostage by Sojo in some undisclosed location. But then he meets the specialists who form this anti-Cloud Gouger unit. And that was last chapter. So we're going to jump into this chapter, which is basically the follow-up to that, which is them making preparations to take on Sojo in the big climactic battle of this arc. And it's interesting. There's a lot at stake. You have Cloud Gouger, that's one of the swords that Chihiro is looking for. You have another sword that the identity has not been revealed yet. At this auction, you have this rare mineral that makes the swords. And you have the black market auction going on all in the background. So lots of fun things going on there. You know, just same old manga stuff. This chapter does introduce a lot of fun things, but for the most part, it's just setup. And I'm fine with that. The best arcs in anime, in my opinion, do take a lot of time to set up. What really matters and what they really need to nail down is the execution when the big fight happens and all the setup or everything that's building up, everything that's being set up is executed to the best of its ability. So we're gonna have to see where this goes here. And I mean, we get some cool moments here and there, and I think that's really fun. For example, we have Sojo being confronted by some of the partners who were just like, yeah, so you remember that sorcerer from earlier, the one with the exploding dolls that he just murdered because he betrayed the group? Apparently he was an important part of one of the gang's operations. So they were trying to kill him to be like, hey, you crossed the line. Don't kill our assets. And Sojo proceeds to kill them. So I mean, it's a fun moment because it's just like a straight up what a villain does. Like he's like, when just other players come into the fray and they're clearly goons, they're clearly cannon fodder for for the story, and they come and approach the main villain with concerns or like complaints, you know what's gonna happen. And we see that with the bloody mess that he leaves. I will say what's really funny is that the owner of the bathhouse, this old lady, he's just like, yeah, sorry, I kind of left a bloody mess. You should probably call the cops. They were trying to kill me, so I'm technically innocent. Which isn't wrong. He did use self-defense, I guess, but he's still the villain. But what happens next is really funny for me because, like, right when he steps out of the bathhouse, it always happens to the villains. And I kind of feel bad for villains in stories like this, where they're just, like, kind of just vibing. But the heroes, or, like, the people aligned with the heroes, like, everyone kind of jumps them right after they're just doing something normal, like, going to a bathhouse. It's kind of funny. But of course we get the anti-Cloud Gouger, excuse me, special forces. And this was pretty hype for me because it's like they all show up, they're on the rooftops. I mean, name a moment when anime characters weren't standing on rooftops looking down at someone that wasn't cool. But you get a cool moment where he like says Cloud Gouger, and clearly he's warming up for a big fight that's about to take place. But then you're wondering, where is Chihiro? Because Chihiro in all this isn't really necessarily concerned with Sojo. I mean, Sojo is in the way for his objectives, but killing Sojo isn't his priority. His priority is to rescue Char and also sort of retain all the swords that were stolen from him and his father. That's Chihiro's goal. And so his whole thing, and also I guess revenge against the people who murdered his father, and I don't think Sojo falls under that. I don't think Sojo killed. That's why Chihiro doesn't really want to sort of involve himself in this fight, and he's leaving it up to the anti-Cloud Gouger forces to sort of take him out. But we do get a cool moment where he's rescuing Char, and you see they're just looking like, wait, why is there a goldfish here? Like, And so they approach it, and then they look down the hallway, and then they just see one of their like men or henchmen just on the ground, just dead, and Chihiro standing over the body. And then you immediately cut to like a phone call of Chihiro sitting at the table with like the two dead men. So now there's only one guy left. I thought that was really funny. Overall, chapter 12 has just really been set up. I mean, the chapter name is preparation, so I don't know why I expected anything more than that, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and I don't know, I'd probably rate it like a 7 out of 10. It's literally set up. We've had better chapters, but I'm not saying it's bad by any means. It's just, getting ready for the big fight. Now, there's a lot of things that happen in chapter 13. We do get a big fight against the anti-cloud Gouger core. I keep saying it wrong. Anti-cloud Gouger core. There's a lot to say there. Anyways, basically the people fighting Sojo at this moment, there's a big fight. Really cool. We get to see some of their powers like Gansu, which we learn later is literally taking the ground and lifting it up into the air. So it's kind of like a giant floating, giving me a lot of One Piece vibes. I'm not going to lie. And we get a really cool visual. What I love about this is we get sort of this like cutaway where we're sort of learning what Chihiro is sharing with the team and sort of their preparations for this big fight. So as we're seeing them fight and like using different techniques to sort of hold off Sojo, we're learning why they're doing what they're doing. Because I do love it where it's, instead of telling you like chronologically like what is going to happen, what they're planning, they intersplice it. So it's like, oh, you're learning what they're doing and also seeing what they're doing at the same time. So the shock factor is still there in terms of like the big twist of how they're gonna overcome Sojo here. And we get a really cool fight, and there is another funny moment too where Chihiro's like, okay, so here's the thing with Cloud Gouger. You want to get struck by Cloud Gouger. And they're like, what? But Chihiro explains later that you want to sort of have Sojo power up Cloud Gouger to use his most powerful attack, because that will leave the biggest opening. And so they sort of use that to their advantage. And when Sojo uses Mei, which is the most powerful lightning attack, he doesn't realize that his prior attack, which Ko is like using the water ability of Cloud Gouger, the whole area below him is flooded. So when he tries to unleash his lightning attack, the anti-Cloud Gouger core literally just takes the water, throws it up into the air, and he proceeds to get electrocuted, which is really funny. It's literally using his powers against him. So we get, I guess, another cutaway to Chihiro still talking to the same dude, the dude he left alive. And he's basically sharing, yeah, Char's in this room, but there's still two sorcerers that you have to overcome, and you're gonna have to fight. And Chihiro's like, okay, cool. And then we learn like one last tidbit of information from the chapter, which is the material, the Datenseki. I probably butchered that so badly, but there's basically the material that makes the sword's magic. Apparently they can transform based on its user. Now, that could mean very good things and bad things for what's gonna go on, because we see Chihiro getting ready to fight the two goons, which it's like whatever, that's kind of what's expected. But we also see an unconscious Sojo. And when you see a villain who's unconscious from the first attack, that's not a good sign, because they're gonna have a comeback. When they strike back, it's not gonna look nice, and I feel really bad for these anti-Cloud Gouger forces, because I think they're either gonna like beef it, they're all gonna die, or they're gonna just get incapacitated, or maybe half of them are gonna die. I don't see good things coming for them. So yeah, but other than that, I think this is a much better chapter than chapter 12. It is definitely an 8 out of 10 chapter. They did a lot. There's like a nice fight that goes on. There's lots of nice set pieces. When they lift him up in the air, when they use his ability Ko to make water and throw it up into the air, and basically use that to counter Mei. It's a really cool visual. I just love the ideas of the powers. I like that we're getting more like sorcerers, more different fighting styles in this, opposed to just swords and, you know, henchmen with guns and swords. You're getting a lot. What did you guys think of this chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Are you excited to see what happens next? I know I am. I guess it's just ramping up. I'm just gonna be really sad if, you know, Sojo just comes and murks everyone. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about this new video format too. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you want me to go back to my old one? I want to hear every one of your thoughts and more. I love reading your comments too. That's, I guess, pretty much it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.